I would suggest that before you really decide on what kind of entity has to be formed, you must first of all understand there are few points which you must understand. So the third type of entity is the partnership firm. Now, a very obvious question which comes to our mind is whether the partnership firm is a separate legal person, right? So when I am saying that HUF is a separate, individual and proprietary concern are not separate. Now the question comes is whether the partnership firm is a separate legal person, okay? So let me tell you that it is not a separate legal person, though it is a separate legal entity for the purposes of filing your income tax returns or any other compliances for the time being. So that means it is not a legal person, separate legal person, because it is not separate from its partners. The another question which is asked is that whether the partnership firm is required to be registered. Let me tell you that the Indian Partnership Act does not require that a partnership firm has to be registered partnership firm. However, there are certain benefits when you registered your partnership firm. If you have not registered your partnership firm, in that case, the partners cannot sue each other, as well as the partners or the partnership firm cannot sue the third parties. So this makes in fact more important for a partnership firm that it has to be registered. So though we say in the sense, though the act does not require the partnership, the Indian Partnership Act does not require you to register your partnership firm, it is recommended that you register your partnership firm with Registrar of Firms. Now, whenever you form a partnership firm, normally what is seen is the partnership deeds are drafted very casually, right? That means there are some standardized formats which your consultants might be using or you might be using, downloading it from somewhere and simply forming a partnership firm. There are certain requirements which have to be there in the deed, that is the partnership deed, so which is the basis of the partnership itself. What happens really is, so whenever these kind of drafts or partnership firm drafts are downloaded, simply formats are downloaded and the partnerships are registered simply, what happens is there are many times certain conditions which are essential to the business, which are essential to the purpose of the partnership. Those terms and conditions are not specifically stated in the partnership form or partnership deed. So it is very important that whenever you are forming a partnership firm, you must ensure that whatever clauses you are putting in that partnership deed must be very carefully drafted. I'll just give you a very simple example for this. The very normal clause for operation of bank accounts is that all the partners, the partners are hereby allowed to open bank account in the name of the firm, and it will be operated through the signature of all the partners. There might be a clause like this. Whereas it may be possible that one partner is sitting in one city, another partner is sitting in some other city, and they are doing the business jointly. There might be online business also. In such a case, what happens is, because such a clause has been inserted in the partnership deed, the bank will always ask you that unless and until both the partners have signed on the check, it will not be passed. So again, what you have to do is, you have to go ahead and amend your partnership deed. So instead of doing these things, it is very important that the clauses which you feel are important should be inserted in the partnership deed right at the time of formation. Why it is so important, I'll tell you. When you are forming a partnership firm, you are very much enthusiastic, right? So that means because you are doing something new, you have joined hands, you know that there is going to be a great synergy, and you are futuristic, you are looking towards this partnership to grow at a great pace. Now what happens is, the Problem starts when the partnership starts earning a lot of money and when it comes to the distribution part, right? So either the problems will start when the business is flourishing a lot, or the problems will start whenever the business is going down. So the question comes as to, whenever the business is going down, the question comes as to who will be putting the money, who will be giving his or her time into the partnership. So because of this, there might be a lot of conflicts, and it is definitely not easy when there are conflicts to come to a common point. So it is very much essential that you must consider such kind of situations right at the time of formation, that what one should do if there are problems arise. So if the problem arises, what should be done, you must decide at the beginning itself. So whenever the relations are very good, whenever the relations are very smooth, when you are into talking terms, many times it happens so that the partners are not in talking terms. So what you must do, whenever you have very good and healthy relations and when you are forming a partnership firm, ensure that these kind of clauses must be inserted into your partnership deed. The third entity which we have discussed is the private limited company, right? So what is a private limited company? I hope all of you must be knowing. So it is a company limited by shares which is registered with the ROC, that is a registrar of companies. So like partnership firms are supposed to be registered with the register of firms, ROC, that is register of companies, is the central authority which will register the private limited companies. So whenever you are forming the private limited companies, again it is very much essential that you must be checking what all are contents in the articles of association and memorandum of association. Many times it so happens that you are already having a proprietary firm, that is proprietary concern I will say, or a partnership firm, and you are taking it into a private limited company. That means the private limited company is being formed for the purposes of takeover of this partnership firm, that is the business of partnership firm, or maybe the business of the proprietorship concern. In such a scenario, many times we see that whenever these private limited companies are formed, they are formed with a small basic capital of rupees 1 lakh. Whereas the business which is supposed to be taken over from the proprietary concern or from a partnership concern, they have a huge capital base maybe of 1 crore. So whenever you are forming a private limited companies for the purposes of such kind of takeover, you must ensure that appropriate authorized as well as paid up capital is provided in the articles and memorandum of association. No doubt you can always increase the authorized as well as paid up capital, but it will be advisable that you do it at the initial level itself. Secondly, whenever you are forming a private limited companies, you must ensure, first thing is that you are well equipped with your accounts department, with your consultants. Why? Because there are a lot of compliances which have to be done whenever you are forming a private limited company. So if you do not make those compliances, then you may be liable to penalties as well as prosecution. It is very much possible. Now, if you are not filing the returns in time for a consecutive period of 3 years, it might be possible that those who have got registered themselves as directors, they will become disqualified. Many times what we see is that there in the flow of business, private limited companies are formed by 1 or 2 or 3 persons and they are not continued for a long time. So when there is no business into this private limited companies, they are just left over like that, and they do not reach to their conclusive end. They are not properly shut down, they are not properly closed down, because of which they continue to become non-filers, because of which the directors who have been registered in those private limited companies, they become disqualified, and even they could not take the directorships in any other companies. So this is something which is a private limited company. almost similar is a limited company. There are certain differences in private limited and a limited company, but it won't be of great importance right over here to discuss all these things, because it again requires a one entire session to discuss about what is a private limited and a limited company. Now there is one more entity which is called as a LLP, which is a very recently introduced. I won't say recently, it is about now 5 years since it has already been floated in India. So what really this LLP is? It is very interesting because it is a combination of a partnership firm and a private limited company. So the benefits of partnership firm and private limited companies are clubbed together and it forms a LLP, that is called as a limited liability partnership, right? Now, before we really discuss about which is the entity right for your business, we must conclude on what other entities are. There could be a trust which you could form. There could be another company which is called as a Section 8 company. So if you want to do some kind of social work, a kind of NGO, and if you do not want to form a trust, that is under the Bombay Public Trust Act, or maybe a society under the Societies Act, and you want to form a company, in that case that will be formed under the ROC only, or under the Companies Act under Section 8. So that is called as a Section 8 company. So these are various forms what we have discussed. Now when the topic suggests that what is the right kind of entity for your business, I would suggest that before you really decide on what kind of entity has to be formed, you must first of all understand there are few points which you must understand. Point number 1, whether you are looking for a long-term purpose or for a short-term purpose. 1. Second thing is that do you have enough capabilities, enough resources with you that you will be able to continue in a proprietorship concern or not. If you feel that your resources, your expertise is not enough and you are going to require expertise of someone else and someone else has already been identified, then I would say it is better to go for a partnership firm. It is always suggested by me, at least as a consultant, I would suggest go for a partnership firm initially instead of straight away jumping to a private limited company. The reason being, there are a lot of compliances as far as a private limited company is there. So if you form a private limited company, you will be stuck into those kind of compliances.
आने वाले एपिसोड्स में बाकी सारी भी कवर कर लेंगे और बाद में एक एलैबोरेटिव सीरीज आएगा जिसमें हम हर एंटिटी के बारे में अलग से बात करेंगे। तो स्टे ट्यून्ड, अभी तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो प्लीज सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए और ऐसा ही आपका रिस्पांस बना रहे, ये मेरी आपसे गुजारिश है। तो थैंक यू सो मच। पैसे के बारे में ध्यान देना बहुत जरूरी है दोस्तों, क्योंकि धन है तो फन है।